Hey everybody, how's it going? Superfiend here, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Planet Coaster Whacky World. We are going to continue getting this thing done. I want to get this attraction completely done because I'd like to make a time-lapse video out of it, of building it, and maybe do it with some commentary or a music soundtrack. So I want to focus this episode on just kind of getting this thing done. Before we do, really quick, we are going to jump over, like we have been doing, and take a look at our research. We got a new, another suspended coaster, more research. Seems like there's an infinite number of things to research here. I wish we could do more than one at a time. Why must it be sequential like this? And let's just make sure that all of our staff is still happy. And we're going to call that good, and then we're going to jump in and just start working on this. So I think last time when we finished, we kind of finished off with this area here. And I wanted this I want the guests, as they're walking through this pathway here, I want them to kind of have a good view of this. So we're going to put some low brush in here and maybe a little bit taller brush here. Or I don't know. Unless you're in like the rainforest, you don't usually see really tall brush right along the riverbank. But I think we can get away with it. No, I think it'll work. So I think we're going to do kind of low brush in here and taller brush out here. But before we do that, we're going to remake the path. So we need to get our 8-meter path here. And I want it to be a little bit shorter than that. And we're going to come from this way. And the guests are going to walk by the monorail and fit nicely right between the two monorail supports there. Better than I'd hoped. And let's go ahead and let's see. If we go out of the path and then back into the path, we can... Okay, I want it to snap here. Let's turn off angle snap for a moment. Okay. And I'm not exactly sure how these two are going to connect up with this this mess up here. We will figure that out at some point. But for now, I just want to get kind of this done. And yeah, that looks really bad. And let's see. I think this one will, yeah, kind of loop around that way. And then that this little space, this little gap right here, and also, well, maybe over here, maybe. But this, leaving these little gaps, I mentioned in another episode how we got little sporadic gaps. That opens up the opportunity to fill them in with drink stalls, food stalls, shop stalls, build little benches and rest areas. Of course, the guests won't really use them. But you don't want to like jam everything together. So now that we got that out of the way, let's terraform this. I was gonna say I wanted to smooth it a little bit, but I think when we paint this with one of the rock textures, I think it'll actually look okay. So we're not gonna do that after all. Let's go over here and let's grab this piece. The advantage of making these reusable pieces like this, and we want to make sure that they got a nice view. Okay, see, this is one of the things I hate about this game with the camera. I accidentally put the cursor over the monorail track, and then when I spin it around, it like wants to rotate it around the monorail track. But if I do it over here, then it does it over the scenery. That's how you get all the inadvertent crazy camera stuff. You got to be very careful about where your stinking cursor is before you start tilting and rotating. And if you're not, then the camera just shoots off into crazy directions. So, aside from that tiny little rant, let's focus on building this, right? And I think, let's see. I think I want the palms more on this side, and the lower brush more over here by the track. So we'll just kind of scoochy. And I think that looks good. And then we're going to need to move a couple of these. So we'll go into edit mode and we'll pick that guy. And we'll switch it to the world axes. And we'll just kind of move him here. And we'll take this one and we can kind of move it up against that. This tall tree, I don't want it to block the view the way it is. So we're going to push it right up against the hill here. And that'll be okay that it intersects it a little bit. And let's see if we can just get one of these. There we Oops, I wanted to duplicate move, and we're just gonna fill this in a little bit, and then we'll probably paint this ground texture with like hard rock, so we only need to go up to here with that. Really, we don't need to fill in the whole thing. And actually, since I brought in, where are they here? The paintbrush. Since I brought in this one, is this it? This is a really nice jungle texture. So even just making this a little bit more sparse, placing these things a little bit further apart, it'll allow more of this painted texture to show through, and it'll look nice. So actually, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's paint this just a little bit. That brush is a little too big. Okay, let's just see what we end up with here. Because I am going to keep this ground texture, okay? Now that's kind of neat. It looks like it's growing up the rock. So we could play with the opacity on this brush and get a nice effect. So let's just kind of fill this in a little bit. And we'll just carry it right up to the riverbank here. And it's looking pretty uniform. So then what we can do is we got this one. We can go to like 20% opacity, or maybe even 10, and pick a big brush and just like real fast. And that'll throw some flowers in there. Give it a little bit of color. And then if we wanted to just do a little bit more, that might have taken it away too much. So then we'll go back over with this one, but like at a 20% opacity. And that helps to break it up a little bit when you mix these together. So now we got a little bit of color and the leaves that look like the scaevola plant, or however you say that. And so let's duplicate this again and just do a couple more. And now let's just see how we're doing from the guest point of view. Are they going to be able to see this thing come out of there? They are. It looks really nice. And actually, here it comes right now. So I think that's going to look really cool. And let's go ahead and get out of the building mode. And I think we could just duplicate this whole thing. And just kind of move it around like this. And I want to say duplicate it one more time. But then we'll add a rotation. And then we'll just move a few of the tall trees around. So let's take the time here and just take these trees and just slide them way off to the side. We want to use the world axes. And we'll just float them over the water. And when we leave the building editing mode and then go back in. Okay. Now we can slide it up a little bit closer to the path. And then we'll go back into the editing mode here, and we'll just start moving a few of these off the path. Okay. This is one of our bigger ones. I think this one we can just get away with like a nice rotation. See, there we go. And this one, well, actually, I think this one, if we move it over here and sink it down a little bit, then we take this one and put it into that hole that opens up. I think this one we could even raise up a little bit. Yeah, there's our wooden post. So let's cover that up just slightly. There you go, real easy. And we got this bush over here that's floating over the water, and we can bring it back in. So again, we're just reusing that idea. I like to do this a lot because it's just in my nature to try to be efficient. And so making things that are reusable, and then you can go in and like vary them up a little bit, you know, add the individual touch or the unique touch, and you can get more done a little bit faster, I think. Just make better use of your time. And here we go. Let's see. We got this one way back in here, kind of hard to see. Oh, that sunk it into the ground. We wanted the red arrow, and I think we'll just take this one and slide it like way up over here. And where else could we maybe afford to grab a bush? No, I think that's pretty good. And then what we want to do is we want to take these guys and we'll just put them back in. Oh, let's see. Okay, so if we move that guy right there, okay, it, you know, from over here it kind of blocks it, but then as you come around the corner it becomes visible. So I think that's an okay placement for that tree. And we want the red arrow. And let's see, we'll move these kind of right up against the shoreline. Rotate them out a little bit, or move them out a little bit. There was no rotation involved. And then let's go grab, let's see, I don't want to grab this tall clump. I like this clump. Okay, let's duplicate that. Where were we at? We were over here. Okay. And let's see. Set it down to about there. And we kind of want to move this one like over in here. So what we'll do, let's see, what's the best way to do this? I think we'll just do it like this, and we'll just slide them on in a little bit at a time. I hate when you click the wrong arrow and then change the elevation. See, I did it again. Oh boy. All right. Gonna get that in there, and I want to get this nice tall tree. Okay. Get some height. And then let's grab a couple of these ones, because they provide good ground cover. And one more of the tall ones, and we'll just kind of slide it right over in there. And let's see. Okay, I think we need like one more of these Scaevola plants. And this looks about the spot. Okay. So let's change our camera back to this one, and let's just see what it looks like as we cruise through here. And it looks a little goofy because we can like see the roots because we're in the building editing mode, but as soon as we come out of it, that'll disappear. Okay. And then let's take the rest of these and let's just decorate over in this area. Let's fill in this ground. So let's see, we'll just kind of come towards the path. And I think we can move this one down just a little. And I'm not going to fill in all of this. I'm just going to kind of do some of it. Because, and the reason for that is because this ride over here, in my head, okay, in my head, I envision that this ride will either come out of here or come out of here and somehow go under the water and then come out in the middle of the lagoon. Okay, that's what I envision in my head. I have no idea like how I'm going to get it done, but that's what I see in my head when I think about the finished product of our little Stingray coaster, whatever you want to call that thing. And so I just want to make sure, you know, because I might have to come over. The reason I bring that up is because then I might have to come over and change some of the scenery over here. So I don't want to spend too much time decorating it. Now, this stuff over here, though, this is going to stay. So I'm going to take that little wooden post, and I'm just going to move it over here. So that if I have to, later in the series, if I decide, oh, no, this has all got to go, and I click on it, then I can go into the building editing mode. I can select all of that, and I can delete it real easy. And then the little wood what's it called? The little wood 1 meter post will still be over here, and so that after I remove all of this, this will still become, or still remain, a building. Okay, we got a few more plants here that are floating off over the brush, so let's just get them moved really quick. Okay. And while I'm doing this, I'll mention that I have started releasing videos for a new series. It's a speed build time-lapse blueprint series. There's only one video that's public right now. There's another that's uploading that will be out, well, tomorrow. This video is going to be released on Friday. Today's Wednesday. So the next video in that time-lapse blueprint series is going to be out tomorrow. If you would like to watch it, I'm going to make a post on Reddit to share it also. And what I'm doing is I'm making a lot of pirate buildings that I'll be able to come in and fill in these areas here. And I've got some other ideas for other pirate buildings too that I'm going to make as part of that time-lapse series, and then I'll just use the blueprints in this series to kind of speed things up. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. And okay, where did we end up when I did that? Camera made a wild jump, and I think all this looks pretty good, and everything over here looks pretty good. I noticed before I started recording, I noticed that the excitement had dropped down to like a 5.5, and to fix it, I just increased the chain lift speed to maximum. It was at 10 miles per hour, and now it's at 14, and the excitement jumped up by like a full point. And I was also kind of toying with the idea of bringing the rocks over the top of this into some sort of like rock bridges, into some sort of odd formation, but I don't know if I want to go through with that. I think I kind of like it open the way it is. But I do want to connect this temple, the inside here, to that little plaza that's on the other side. So we are going to, we're going to come into this building, and let's see. Can we fly straight through? I don't think we can. We're going to hit the wall. Okay. We hit the rock wall. So I think like right about here is a good place to start building it. So let's select this, and we're just going to do a simple archway for now. We can always come back and make it a little bit nicer. Okay, so you know, I'm thinking like this one right here. What's going on? We should be editing this building. Why is it not? Okay. Okay, so kind of like this. And so what we'll do is we'll just take both of these, and then we'll move them to there, and we'll fly in here and we'll see where it ended up on the other side. Okay, so it's ending up where those rocks are, and I kind of want to move it over like one, but then on this side it collides with these two pillars, but we can move those. So let's get this out of our way. It's a little bit in our way. Okay, so let's duplicate this one more time. Okay. And let's see if we can grab just this one. And just this one. So we got the two columns, right? And let's just slide them over to like right here. And then we'll move this. Oh, the other thing we could do. Okay, get out of that. And just change it to a 2-meter grid. And then that way they can go just across the middle. So actually, I could put those pillars back. Okay, and we'll do that. Now let's fly in here and see where is it at. Okay, so it's like it's just poking through. And it comes out and collides with this building. Okay, so let's we're gonna have to move these ones. Let's see. We'll just slide them this way. I don't think anyone's going to notice, right? I think it'll be okay. And... oh, yeah. Okay, so... now that we did that, in order to open this up correctly, we'd have to take away this wall piece and that wall piece, and then we're going to end up with these ugly gaps. And we can, okay, we can work with that. We can work with that. So we're going to go in here into this building. We're going to change it to a 2-meter grid as well. Okay, now... okay, yes, that's where I want it. Okay, so I think if I do this... oh boy, this is not easy to work in here. Okay, let's okay, now let's see if we can take both of these. I gotta get this out of the way. And I gotta get that out of the way. Okay, let's see if I can take both of these. Okay, I want it to line... you know, I want it to be on the grid right here, but I want it to slide over, and it's being a real pain in the neck. Okay. Change of plans, maybe. Change of plans. Let's see. Okay, let's fly out. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that's going to work at all. So what we're going to do instead is we'll just come over here and we'll try working with the thin rounded arch instead. Okay, it's very difficult to fly around in here and get these things to behave. Okay, no. All right, different idea. We're just going to make one building that is the archway. Okay, there. It's not going to be part of any building, and then we can put it wherever we want. And this is probably the easiest way to get this done. This game sometimes is not easy to get the scenery to do what you want. Okay, there. We're going to put that right there. And let's go into our terrain tool. And we want a much smaller brush than this, and we want to use our chisel. And now I just want to push. Okay, let's see. Can we, I think we're going to want to flatten the foundation, but we want like a very small tool. Okay, so let's see. Okay, there's the other wall. Wow, those actually ended up pretty far apart, looking at it from right here. Okay, let's go into the edit mode of this. We'll duplicate it. Then we'll select both of these, and we'll move them both right there. Okay, so that should take us through to the other side. We gotta fly through here with our very, very, very ultra slow first-person cam. And that's looking better. Okay, so now inside this building, we'll have to move this again. There you go, that works for me. And now we need to make a hole in here. So I think what we want to do, I think we want to take away this piece. Okay, and then let's see if we can... okay, I just want to select this building. Did I get it? I did. So we're going to move this building over to here. And I think we want to bring it in just a little bit more to about there. And that gets us in here. And now we will take away this ivy. And we'll have to go back and fix the terrain. That's okay. All right, so let's go back into our terrain tool. And let's use pull. And we want slightly larger brush. Okay, and let's just get this all put back together. And now let's go to flatten. Slightly smaller brush. I think 3 meters is about what we used. Okay, and we'll just push our way through here. And now we're going to push it down ever so slightly. And then flatten again. And we're just going to keep doing this until it's visible over here. A little bit more. Okay. There we go. And we'll just go straight through the mountain into the other building. Okay, and then in here, we want to push. No, that's pull. We want to push. Okay, just a little bit, and open this up. Now, we're spending an awful lot of time for something that the guests are not going to walk through or see, but, you know, I just want it to look nice. In case I do some sort of some cinematic video showcasing this ride, you know, I just want it to look nice. And then the other thing that we should probably do, let's go into this building. Okay. I guess we got to push the terrain down a little bit more. I want to complete this. I want to push this through. Okay, so I want this to be visible. And let's go out of there, edit the building. Okay, where is it? There. Let's change the grid to 0.25. All right, well, I guess that's good enough. Okay, so that's about what I wanted. And now, let's see. I feel like these two pillars are a little bit too close to the opening. So I'm going to see if we can just select them. I wish when you canceled that it would like keep your selection. That would be handy, wouldn't it? Okay, and here we go. And then we want to make sure that we're not too close to the track over here. I think that works okay. All right, so that was a little fidgety. Oh, good grief. But we got her done. And I think it looks pretty good. And I think it changes the whole like atmosphere of the room that they now had a way to get in here. And it's actually really cool because as you come in through here, you can kind of see it. And the track, and I didn't plan this, but the track almost kind of heads for it. So the other thing we could do is we could decorate around this and put some torches and things there to call attention to it as the riders go through. And on the outside here, I think we'll want to do something similar. So let's see, where's the time for this video at? I think we got time to get it done in this video. So let's, wild camera, let's come over here and let's look at our scenery pieces. You know, what else have we done? And what could we reuse? Okay, I think we've used these a lot, and I don't think they're appropriate for, well, maybe just like this, right? Just this piece, like that could work. The other thing that could work is maybe this turned horizontal along the top. I think that could look good. And then of course there's these. These could look good too. So let's see, what do we want to do? And then of course we've got our pyramid, which we could come over here and use this for inspiration. So we could kind of put something like this on each side on the ground. I think we'll do that. So let's go grab this thing. A sandstone watchtower. Okay, that's what that's called. And let's shoot into here. And we'll edit. And okay, should be right there. And on the other buildings that I did, with the pyramid, this watchtower's got these two little holes in it I thought they were only on one side. I guess they go all the way around it. I was going to try to hide them if they didn't go around the whole thing, but it looks like they do. Okay, and I want this to be straight like that. I want... Okay, it's doing something funny. I want this edge and the grid line to be perpendicular to each other. So that's about where I want that. And we'll change it to world axes. We'll lower it down. And let's see. I think we'll lower it to there. And actually, let's see. Oh, we'll go until the window is just visible, and then we'll duplicate and make them slightly intersecting, and then go down, and that will help to cover up the window there. And this helps to reinforce the architectural theme of the whole area, because you see this design in the pyramid also. And now we're going to take these and we're just going to shove them all the way in there, and then we're going to fly in and we're going to fidget with them in here until they look good. All right, now this time we want angle snap. Let's just do 45. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we get the blue arrow and move them back. Okay, now let's see. They should go right about like this. Okay, and that kind of looks good for the edge of the building. And let's look at the scenery pieces. Let's just see what we can do again with that cider press. We want the plain edge. Now see, just doing this, and then just bringing it out just a little bit. You're not going to really notice that it's not on the wall. Really helps to cover up the harshness of this edge here. It just gives a little bit of decoration along it. So then if we take this and we spin 1, 2, 3, 4, and we bring it over here, then we get kind of the same thing over here. And now let's figure out what we're going to do along the top. I think one of the, let's see, we'll get rid of this. And I think we want to go not to the animatronics, the statues and centerpieces. And let's see. Now, here's an interesting idea that we could use. Okay, we got these fountains. So what if we took a fountain? Why does it say add the building? We're editing this building. All right, what if we... All right, let's click on this and hit X. And then pick this fountain, right? And let's rotate it this way so that it's face down. Okay, I think this could work. And this is nice because we use these same fountains over in the what is it? The Lost Gardens kiddie ride. So if we take this piece and we bring it over here and we use it somehow, then it reinforces that architectural theme as well that we used in another area of the park. So once you start using pieces, in my opinion, you kind of want to be reusing them in various areas, and it helps to tie everything together. Now, I kind of like the way this looks, and I think we're just going to go ahead and do that. And then I think we just need to put something on top of it. And we've been using the little pufferfish statue every now and then. And am I crazy, or what's going on here? It's upside down? Okay. I was like, what is going on with this thing? There we go. There he is. And we'll face him out. And we'll set him like so. Okay, and we'll just do that. And let's just step back here and see how that looks as you come through. I think it looks okay. Good enough for my satisfaction. So let's take these two pieces. We'll duplicate them. We're going to shove them way out there, and then we're going to fly through here. And we're going to spin them around 180. And then we're going to just repeat this on this side. And I guess I should have grabbed the cider mill, the cider press. Okay, we need to accept that. Okay, and then we'll take these. And we'll just scooch this over this way. Now on this side, I think we could push it back just a little bit and lower it down. Very, very interesting. What happened here? Okay, this thing is much higher. Okay, so I got the cider press is actually much higher than the archway on that side. So I think I want to lower it all down. On this side, I'm making the cider presses just as tall as the archway. I think I'll make them a little bit higher. And we'll get the cider press again. Okay, it doesn't need to be exactly the same height, but we'll get it pretty close. And we need to push it back just a little bit. Okay, and then we'll accept that. And then we'll take this guy and we'll lower it down to about there. And now we'll just fly in here. So there's this little gap in here, but realistically nobody's going to be looking at that. And so if we just go into here and select these pieces and then bring them down just a little bit. What happened there? Okay. And I think that looks pretty good. I like this. And now what I want to do is we just want to add some lights in here. But I think this episode's getting a little bit long. And so what we're going to do is we're going to end it here. We're going to come back in the next one. And we're going to switch it to nighttime. And we're going to add some lights in some areas to make this whole area look kind of nice and good at night. And then, as the last thing, I think, to get this whole attraction open, we're going to come in here, and we need to, let's see, let's lower it down. We need to come in here, and we need to work on this coaster station. I got to do something with this. This thing looks like crap compared to the rest of it right now. And I'd also like to get a nice sign. Let's see. I like to get a nice sign or something over here with a little bit of this kind of scenery that looks like it's holding the sign up and says, hey, the hidden temple is right here, everybody. It's so hidden that we got to tell you right where it is. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Tune in for the next one and have yourself a good afternoon.